Maybe now she can try it with baby North's blood.
Now, I'm not going to lie, I am open to the thought of looking and feeling 15 years younger, but nobody is explaining who's going to be supplying the baby's blood.
Will we begin breeding humans simply for their ability to donate blood? The value of a child's life has already diminished in some circles to no more than their useful byproducts. An energy plant in Oregon burns aborted babies from Canada to generate electricity. And aborted babies are used to heat hospitals in the UK, their life force used in a waste-to-energy program. And one woman even posted a video of her abortion on YouTube in her narcissistic pursuit of fame.
I just want to share my story.
But what strikes me about this new science is how the belief that the fountain of youth can be tapped with young blood has been around forever. Throughout history, cultures across the globe have extolled the properties of youthful blood. Children are sacrificed, and the blood of young warriors was drunk by the victors. Lady Bathory was rumored to bathe in the blood of virgins to preserve her youthful looks. And of course, there's vampires who live forever by draining the blood of their victims. And the story goes, vamps find babies' blood the most rejuvenating. Some admit drinking blood for the energy they receive.
I get irritable without it. I get angry. I don't want to leave my house. I want my blood.
Drinking blood is trendy. Just ask Kesha, the queen of occult pop. And Satanists exalt the power found in the life force of children. Details of the history of child sacrifice are written about in Bloodlines of the Illuminati by Fritz Springmeier. A baby must be sacrificed to Satan in exchange for power. Springmeier notes how it's not the family name itself that holds the power for the Illuminati, but the very occultic blood pulsing through their veins. Hence all the intermarrying between these families to keep the potency of their bloodline pure. Youthful life force is wildly attractive to the powerful, who find covert ways to feed their insatiable thirst. The Franklin cover-up reveals one of the biggest pedophile scandals in the history of the USA. Boy prostitutes 15 years old and younger were taking midnight tours of the White House. And across the pond, BBC host Jimmy Savile was found to be involved in a child sex ring for VIPs. Interesting to note, Savile's good buddy, Prince Charles, is a direct descendant of Vlad the Impaler, who you might know by his other name, Dracula.
Welcome back. Now, as we just heard, as the occult is going mainstream, we see that tonight, in spite of 20,000 people signing a petition that they didn't want to see this happen, Harvard is going to have a Black Sabbath celebrated on campus. Now, contrast that to the idea that just one person filing a complaint about a fundraiser that had a fiesta party theme got that canceled. Not only there, but it trickled out through all kinds of universities in a pushback of political correctness. Here's Leanne McAdoo's report.
Every year, colleges across the country hold annual all-you-can-eat taco fiestas. But apparently, that was a little offensive to some this year. So they banned the word fiesta from college campuses. You can't wear sombreros. You can't wear racially insensitive cowboy and Indian costumes and all sorts of things. Have we gone too far? Should we make Fiesta change their name because it is racist and offensive to a handful of people? A lot of college campuses now are having to stop throwing parties that have a cultural theme because people find it offensive. A lot of parties were shut down for Cinco de Mayo, for instance. Why do you think people are offended by tacos, sombreros, tequila?
Just people just find a bunch of different like racial things. Just like for instance, like you said, the taco shirt or like sombreros and stuff like that. They think like you're making fun of them type things or something like that, you know. So a bunch of people just have different perspectives on things like that.
I don't think it's racist. It's part of someone's culture. It's good to have different.
In different countries, they have American parties. So I don't understand. We don't think it's racist. We think it's kind of cool to see like they want to have our type of culture over there. So for us to be sensitive and to shut down Cinco de Mayo parties, that's going a little too far.
I'm the kind of guy that doesn't really get that offended that much, so I think a lot of it's blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
I understand being sensitive to people, but it seems like recently more and more they're getting more nitpicky about what to be offended about. It seems like being offended is the cool thing to be. So
I don't think so.
No?
I don't. I mean, the students wear the.
Yeah, well, they basically say they can't have fiestas because having a fiesta is racist.
I don't think so.
What? Look at this liberated person here. Do you think that I should learn Spanish?
You want Spanish? Oh my God. Some sorry, I mean, no English.
Okay. I feel like we've gotten very politically correct, taking it to the extreme.
Is that politically correct though? Is it? Or is it just being really sensitive like you're saying? Because I mean, we're here in America, we're supposed to be equality of any race. That's what we were built upon, and now it's like no, don't do that. You're too, I don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to be about embracing other cultures, but now it's like, no, you can't do that because that doesn't represent me. In this particular case at Dartmouth, it was one girl that said she was offended, and the other students were like, why? It's just fun. It's a fiesta. They're not allowed to say the word fiesta.
it just seems like that's it's all the rage, you know?
Yeah, well, it seems like when you go to college and get a degree, that's the new thing, is to fight for these arbitrary offenses against your culture or this or that. Meanwhile, you know, they're playing white privilege blame games at some colleges, and like me as a white person, I'm not allowed to say anything because they're like, well, that's white privilege.
Yeah,
and
check your privilege, you know?
my mom didn't pay for me to go to school, but that's what they're saying, is that I had a privileged life and that I didn't work really hard. Should I be offended?
I would if I was in your situation. I would.
I mean, might as well. If
They were like, you didn't build that.
I tried. It's like I tried my hardest to get to where I am today, and for you to take that away from me, that's horrible. And then for them to say, no, we can do it for you, but you can't say anything bad about us. It's like, where's the equalness? I don't know.
Do you think it's okay that only white people should be able to have hamburgers?
No.
'Cause we did that.
No, I don't think it's okay. I mean, like myself, you couldn't tell that I'm mixed. My dad's black and white, and my mom is Mexican. So it's like, I got everything in me.
Well, apparently now America has become the place where we stop celebrating. It's the manila envelope of the world.
Manila envelope, like that.
Yeah, we used
It's an
to.
interesting word for it.
We're all manila.
I think every culture has the right to celebrate however they want to celebrate, and you're not forced to celebrate something you don't want to. Same thing with Christmas or other holidays. There's Kwanzaa, you don't have to celebrate them. Every person has a right to do what they want to do.
Well, it is America. I mean, that's.
We were founded on those rights.
Yeah. So you like hamburgers,
Yeah, I do.
and I like tacos. I mean, I don't get it.
Well, that's it for tonight's news, but stay tuned. Right after the program, Jakari Jackson takes a look at what Ted Cruz's Obama report missed. Join us tomorrow at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Senator Ted Cruz of Texas has released a report detailing the abuses by the Obama administration. The list is well compiled and includes things like misguiding the press on Benghazi, as well as ordering Boeing to fire 1,000 employees in South Carolina. As good as the report is, here are 10 items that it doesn't include. Number 10, the White House ignoring petitions they encourage citizens to file. Now, there are petitions that request the building of a functioning Death Star, but those are contrasted by very practical requests to label GMOs. Number 9, wasteful spending surrounding the affectionately labeled Obama phone program.
I have another one in my pocket, too.
Baltimore City resident Monique Crawford has plenty of cell phones.
I have about like 6 in my purse now.
And a few more at home.
Each and every one of these phones work. At home, I know I have about 30, and all of them are on.
But how did she manage to amass such a cellular jackpot?
How long did it take you to get all these phones?
5-10 minutes to get this one just now, and I walked out with this one just now.
Well, partly thanks to you. That's because anyone who pays a cell phone bill also subsidizes the phones filling up Monique's purse, courtesy of a charge buried in your monthly bill called a universal access fee.
Number 8, denying a Christian family's request for asylum while granting driver's licenses to undocumented California workers who can sneak past Border Patrol. Number 7, refusing to debate climate change while intentionally bankrupting the coal industry.
So if somebody wants to build a coal-powered plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted.
Number 6, the half-baked so-called investigation into the murder of SEAL Team 6.
If your son was killed, Mr. Jones, and they gave you a book with no ink, I was with my mom yesterday. She said, they're lucky Grandpa ain't alive. He'd be going right through the front doors of that White House to Obama. You know? We need some answers here. Somebody has to be held accountable. I just don't want to hear it was a bad plan, lucky shot, all that bull. I need somebody to go to jail. This is murder. This is murder, Mr. Jones. My son knew in June somebody was setting him up, but he didn't think somebody on his own side.
Number 5, blaming Assad for chemical weapons attacks when there is video evidence of Syrian rebels carrying out at least one attack.
Yesterday, the United States presented a powerful case that the Syrian government was responsible for this attack on its own people. Our intelligence shows the Assad regime and its forces preparing to use chemical weapons, launching rockets in the highly populated suburbs of Damascus, and acknowledging that a chemical weapons attack took place.
Number 4, never shutting down Guantanamo Bay, where human rights violations continue to take place.
I have said repeatedly that I intend to close Guantanamo, and I will follow through on that. I've said repeatedly that America doesn't torture, and I'm going to make sure that we don't torture. Those are part and parcel of an effort to regain America's moral stature in the world.
Number 3, telling his former press secretary to act as if the drone program never existed.
When I went through the process of becoming press secretary, one of the first things they told me was, you're not even to acknowledge the drone program. You're not even to discuss that it exists. Wow. And so I would get a question like that, and literally I couldn't tell you what Major asked, because once I figured out it was about the drone program, I realized I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Number 2, blatantly targeting the Second Amendment.
What I'm trying to do is to get a broader conversation about how do we reduce the violence generally. Part of it is seeing if we can get an assault weapons ban reintroduced, but part of it is also looking at other sources of the violence. Because frankly, in my hometown of Chicago, there's an awful lot of violence, and they're not using AK-47s, they're using cheap handguns.
And number 1, lying to America's face.
If you've got health care already, then you can keep your plan if you are satisfied with it. If you like the plan you have, you can keep it. I intend to keep this promise. If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. If you like your plan and your doctor, you can keep them. You'll be able to keep your health care plan. If you like your plan, you keep your plan. If you like your doctor, you like your plan, you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. You like your current insurance, you keep that insurance. Period.
Much like Senator Cruz, we can't include all the abuses because we simply don't have enough time to go through them all. But you can find all these and much more on INFOWARS.com.
You are watching the INFOWARS Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at INFOWARSnews.com. Members can share their passcodes with up to 11 other people, and your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.